welcome to today's Friday Facebook Live. Today we are talking about healthy habits to survive lockdown. Now, if you've been tuning in to some of these Facebook Lives before, you'll know that what we've mainly been focusing on is business-oriented stuff. We've done a little bit of other stuff around homeschooling and how people are coping with mental health and all of that things, you know, the practical stuff that we want to look at whilst people are in lockdown. But we thought we've discussed quite a lot of business things, and we thought it would be really nice to just look at something that isn't just business related. This is more to do with how people are living their lives at the moment. So obviously, lockdown again has caused massive changes to the way we are all living our lives. Most of us, if we've got a garden and we're lucky enough to get out there, then brilliant. But for a lot of us at the moment, we are stuck in the house, and often stuck in quite small houses, and we're allowed an hour a day when we can go out and exercise. The other thing that this has brought about in terms of the change of lifestyle is that before, we were working in offices, we had lovely proper chairs and a proper desk, and our laptops were set up at the right height, and we were working, you know, in a much more HR appropriate sort of way. And now we're not. Now we're all sat at home and we're hunched over dining room tables, or we're trying to work in a corner office or sit on the sofa and work. Our whole way of life over the past few weeks has just completely changed. And that's why we thought it was appropriate to just address a few of those issues on today's session. So I've got a fab team with me today. You might have to bear with us a little bit today because Marcus and Annie are joining us from the app, and that means they can't see us, but they can hear us. So if there's a bit of a delay, just bear with us on that one. But first of all, I'm going to go around and we will all introduce ourselves and say who we are and where we come from. So for anybody who doesn't know, I'm Rachel Weinhold, and I'm one of the directors of GrowTraffic, which is an SEO and digital marketing agency. Annie, what's your name and where do you come from?
Hi everyone, I'm Annie. I'm based in Rottenstall. I'm a personal trainer. I started back in December. And yeah, my specialty really is muscle building and sculpting and toning, and obviously teaching clients how to fuel the bodies really and find a really nice balance between normal life and making the most out of having your health and your fitness the top priority.
Brilliant. Thank you, Annie. Marcus, what about you?
Hey, I'm Marcus. I'm a personal trainer from Burnley, and I use exercise as a way to help and maintain mental health and general well-being.
Brilliant. Thank you, Marcus. Joseph, who are you?
Hi, I'm Joseph. I'm a chiropractor based in Rottenstall. I've been working for 2 years now. Worked at a few different practices. I help people with pain, also restriction in movement, if you've got stiff achy joints, that kind of thing. Also helping people with mental health in the terms of, you know, if you've got pain, you don't want to do something, you get anxiety about movement, things like that. So getting rid of those issues is a big part of the job as well. Yeah.
That's it. Brilliant. Thank you very much. I mean, as I say, we've gathered you all together today to talk about kind of health and fitness, and I'm perhaps the least appropriate person to be doing this because I'm not healthy or fit. To be fair, I'm not unhealthy as such, but for those of you who know me, I've got a back issue, which means I'm not great at doing my exercise. I do a bit of Pilates and I do a bit of yoga, although I haven't done that very recently. But Joseph is my chiropractor who keeps my back working well, but going down the gym is not something I do. I do go muck up my horses, so I'm quite active and I'm often outside and I'm often moving, but I am going to rely on you guys at the moment to tell me about that because I know nothing. So we're going to go around again now, and I'm going to ask you to just tell us a little bit about your personal situation. So, how are you doing at the moment? Are you in lockdown? Are you furloughed? How are you coping with the day-to-day restrictions of your life? And what are you managing to do in terms of exercise? So I'll go in the same order. So Annie, what about you?
So I'm obviously in lockdown at the minute. I'm locked down with my partner and my little fur child, who you might see just wandering around. I'm not furloughed or anything. I'm just at the minute moving all my clients online and trying to do a lot of like virtual sessions like we are doing now, and that kind of thing really. I'm utilising this time to really milk all those things that I once craved. I'm in my home comfort, which I once craved, and I was so desperate to spend time at home. So I'm enjoying the fact that I am at home, but equally not letting that be an excuse to fall on the backtrack, because as Marcus will probably touch base on, keeping active is so important for mental health, especially when you are not able to go outside and socialise as normal. So
yeah, I think as well for you, as you know, this is your livelihood, isn't it? As a PT, you know, you've got to live and breathe what you're telling other people to do. So you've got to keep up that basic level of fitness and that daily exercise as well. There's no point you being a massive fat slob moving and then trying to tell other people to do it. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Annie. Marcus, what about you?
So at the minute, just moving on, doing regular check-ins with clients and stuff like that. I've used the time to like build a website, the time to like make our clients as well and like update that. Yeah, no, I've just been playing my games, my computer games. I've not been exercising as much as I would have been, but it just is what it is. I've been training. I've been exercising 3 times a week, going out and run, doing home fits and stuff like that, stretching every now and then. I haven't put so much emphasis on like staying active and stuff like that. I think we're only human, and to be honest, I don't really like doing home workouts, but I force myself to do it just 3 times a week just to keep that fitness up.
Yeah.
I prefer training like a powerlifter, if anything.
Yeah, you do a lot of weights, don't you? That's kind of your thing, is that kind of heavy lifting, as I would call it, whatever you call it.
Yeah. So I think for this, one of the biggest things is like doing what's going to be sustainable. So if you don't like doing home workouts, or you don't like doing, like going on runs and stuff like that, then maybe you can do a home workout instead of going for the run. Or you could do like yoga or something like that instead of doing a home workout. Or I think finding what works best for you is the biggest thing.
Yeah, I like the way that you say I haven't been able to do a lot of exercising. I've just been going out for a run 3 times a week.
Well, I haven't done as much exercise as I would have normally done.
As you would have normally, yeah. There's still a lot more than I would have done. Brilliant, thank you, Marcus. No Joseph, what about you?
I've shut the clinic because obviously hands-on treatment, getting very close to people, it's a way to spread these kind of things, isn't it? So I'm still taking calls. I'm helping people with the problems through phone calls and sometimes through Skype and things like that. I'm not charging for it at the moment. It's something that I've looked at doing, but I've more been concentrating on blog posts, and hopefully we'll start doing some videos soon, because I always reference other people's work, and if I can create my own sort of library, that's what I need to be working on at the moment. So I've been just using the time. In terms of exercise, I've got access to some kettlebells and a bit of weight, so I looked at what I had and focused on that. And a writer called Dan John came up with this 10,000 kettlebell swing challenge, where 5 times a week you do 500 swings, and that's what I've been concentrating on at the moment. So I think the point of that is focus on what you can do, not what you can't do. And if you can challenge yourself, you've got a target still.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's interesting what Annie was saying as well, because it's that time to focus on the things that you wouldn't necessarily do. We've talked a lot about the drawbacks of being on lockdown, and that there are an awful lot of them, and there are a lot of people in dire situations. But one of the positive things is it has given people time to take stock of what they've got and focus on things, and maybe come up with a little bit more of a plan. So I know, Marcus and Annie are both in, well, you are as well, to a certain extent. Your businesses are quite new. So, this is an opportunity to start looking at, well, how do I want to grow my business? And I don't want to start talking about business, because we talk about business a lot, but it is that opportunity to look at, right, well, how am I going to grow this, and what do I need to do, and work on the bits that you wouldn't necessarily have had time to do, isn't it?
Thinking about it, good out of the situation, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so just in terms of sort of, workouts and what you are doing, I know Marcus has already said he's not managing to stay as active as he would have done, but are you all keeping a kind of comparable level? You might have changed what you're doing, but are you all still keeping active and doing kind of routines and stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I'll always utilise well, it's not an hour anymore, we're allowed out for as long as we want, but I will always spend my time outside, and then I'll obviously try and slot in a workout each day. I think it's quite beneficial for me as well, because I'm doing a lot of virtual, like, personal training sessions. I'm staying active that way, and my clients motivate me as much as I motivate them. It's kind of like a win-win for everyone, really.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I suppose if all of you are used to, you know, like Joseph just said, if all of you are used to working in a gym, is it very difficult to make that switch to doing sort of a different type of exercise? Or have you all found it quite easy? Annie, what about you? Have you found that quite easy to make that transition?
No, no, not at all. I probably like Marcus. I quite like heavy lifting and the compound movement. I've had to switch that out of the gym and just do more of the basic stuff with a little set of dumbbells that I've got lying around. But I think, like I said earlier, it's just about making the most of a bad situation and just realising it's not forever. It's about maintaining probably now at this stage, rather than trying to progress and make yourself go really far. It's just maintaining, so you don't have to fall back and restart all over again when you are back in the normal environment.
Yeah, absolutely. Marcus, what about you?
So for me, like, yeah, I've just been active and stuff like that. Like for example, yesterday, like, I was feeling a bit like not myself, sort of thing, and so I just came back after going to Tesco, got and just did a quick workout then.
Because you've been doing, Marcus, you've been doing PT sessions with Dali, my husband, haven't you? And I suppose one of the things he's been using the bench in the dining room that you sit on when we're having dinner. He's using that as his bench, and then he found some dumbbells, not where the hell he found them from. But I suppose a lot of people are having to use things that they lying around the house, like Annie was saying. You know, you haven't got all the equipment you've got in the gym, so you're having to find things that you can use and improvise. Are you finding a lot of that in terms of your workouts?
Yeah. So for example, like the good thing with Dali is, like, he's been training. Like, I've been training, but he kind of knows a lot of stuff. And maybe, like you said, not you said, the last we did. He said, "Oh, I've made up." Sure, did, but it's that kind of way. He's had the box, and we're having to come up with stuff and do stuff a little differently. I've made a home workout where the only thing that you have to lift is a dining table chair, and it's an absolute killer of a workout, but it works.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, don't let him near my dining room chairs, because they're quite old and they'll probably break. So don't teach him that one. Okay, brilliant. So, you know, as I mentioned at the beginning, people at the moment there's a lot more stresses and strains that people are facing. So there's the practicalities of not being able to go out. There's the practicalities of being stuck in the house with a lot of other people. You know, a lot of people are looking after children, or they're looking after if they're being a carer for their partner or their grandparents or something. So people have got a lot less. Although it seems like people have a lot more time, really they've got a lot less time to dedicate to themselves, because there's a lot more stresses going on. So what else do you think people might be facing at the moment? What do you think that the issues are? So I'll come to you first. What do you think people are struggling with?
I think finding something to do that's productive is affecting a lot of people. Like, I mean, I'm constantly hearing the Hoover in my house, because, you know, my mum and dad, they'll drop a bit of toast or something and they'll hoover the whole house, and then I'll have half an hour of being able to hear things, and then Hoover goes again because the dogs walk through the lounge. It's like, just relax, focus on just chilling a little bit, you know. And with that comes the guilt as well, isn't it? If you've got this time and you sat down and you can catch up on your Netflix. I think everyone's a bit bored of that now, but still, you know, putting a lot of pressure on yourself to be the best. You know, we talked a little bit about it last time, you know, becoming a composer or something like that in this time. It's a lot of pressure, you know. Just have a little checklist, you know. Working through, I just a little bit of a walk today, maybe a little workout, I wrote a little bit on a blog or I did something like that, and then I'm done. And I usually can get that done before 12 o'clock, and then I've got the rest of the day to myself. And if I do anything else, I'm like, pat on the back, I've done more than I should have.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that is really important because, like I said, that's the mental health side of it as much as the physical health side of it. It's like we were saying this at the last one, weren't we? But don't put yourself under too much pressure to do too much. You know, if you can get down the gym, if you can't go out for a 10-mile run, don't beat yourself up about that. Give yourself little achievable targets and say, all right, you know, but I can do this. So I'm going to do, 10 minutes of this workout rather than spend an hour in the gym. It is that practical kind of being nice to yourself, and practical solution, something rather than beating yourself up about it. But on the other hand, I wonder how much weight your mum's losing if she's hoovering the house 5 times a day.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Keeping fit.
Yeah,
What about you? What do you think people are going to be struggling with at the moment?
I think one of the biggest things that people are going to be struggling with is, like back pain. I know you touched on this before we went live, but I think that's going to be one of the biggest things because, for example, even myself, like I was sat down more, I was sat doing all this work, admin stuff that I'd kind of been putting off for a long time, and I started getting back pain and a bit of hip pain and stuff like that. And I think that's a massive thing that a lot of people are struggling with. From when I've been doing check-ins and stuff like that with clients, they're not having me there constantly watching and stuff like that. So it's hard to sort of gauge as well how they might be doing an exercise, and it might be slightly different. So that's one thing that I think I'm struggling with.
You're absolutely right, and Joseph, I know you wrote a blog about this actually, didn't you? Last week, was it? About making sure, and it's what happens at the beginning, but making sure you're sitting properly. Somebody actually recommended, and I did buy one. It arrived yesterday. I haven't tried it yet. It's like a backpack, and you put it on, and it sort of makes you sit a little bit. It only goes to here, so it's not massive. Makes you sit when you sat at a chair. Because I do that. I'm doing it now. I lean forward and I hunch over stuff, and after I've been doing it for 15 minutes, my neck's so bloody sore. And it is that, just remember to sit up and sit back, isn't it? So you're right. I mean, in a way, there might be all sorts of things that are being stored up, aren't there, for when we come out, that we're going to have to, you lot are going to have to deal with when we come out of it. Annie, what about you? What issues do you think people are going to be facing at the minute?
I think a lot of it will be down to, despite the fact that you probably think you'll have loads of free time, the likelihood is if you are a parent or you're a carer, you're basically limited now to how much free time and alone time you've now got. So that can be taking a toll on a lot of people, which is another reason why I think just allocating yourself an hour a day to have a workout and focus on you. It's not selfish to do that, to give yourself an hour to yourself, because it's the only time you get. So I do think that is one of the main things that are bothering people at the minute. It's just feeling constantly overwhelmed by your surroundings.
It absolutely. I mean, I've got Leon here. Just before we started doing the live, Leon came in and he was showing me a rock that he'd found in the garden. But I'll do that. I'll be on a meeting or I'll be on a Zoom call or something for an hour, and as soon as you get off those, I kind of need 5 or 10 minutes to sort of decompress and get my head around. But straight away he's in here and he's like, Mummy, guess what? This mum, because he's had an hour where he's had to be quiet and be by himself. So it's like we said, you think you've got a lot more time because you're not traveling to work and you're not driving to meetings and all the rest of it, but you haven't got time to yourself, and that is actually a massive difference. Because before, at least at the end of the day, I've got 20 minutes where I drive back from the office to my house. That is 20 minutes to decompress from the day, and before I get launched into mum, look at this, which I now haven't got. So, yeah, it's those practical things, isn't it? Okay, thank you very much for that. So, that's the kind of problems that we think people are experiencing at the minute. So my next question is, how do you recommend people start to combat that? Now, I know, this question could be as big as small as the world, couldn't it? But are there sort of small practical things people could be doing throughout the day that are just going to help them. So Annie, I know you said, put an hour aside that you're going to dedicate to yourself and spending a bit of time on yourself. But what do you think people should be doing with that hour? Annie?
Is it me?
Yeah, you. Yes, sorry. Yeah.
I think it's just important to be kind to yourself and not focus too much on the negatives of what you're not necessarily succeeding in, and just allowing yourself to enjoy the moment. Really, it's something we all craved at one point, so just make the most of it while you can.
Yeah, you mentioned before as well getting outside. I think that's really important. Is there? I mean, I don't know whether there is any kind of proof or anything, but about the sort of mental and physical benefits of getting outside. I presume it's better for you, isn't it, to get out and get some fresh air?
Definitely.
Yeah, so you're all really agreeing with me there that getting outside is better. So one of you tell me why. Joseph, tell me why is getting outside better than being stuck inside?
Well, the exercise that you'll be doing when you're outside, that's going to release a lot of endorphins, make you feel better, make you feel more motivated, but also change of scenery as well. You're not in a stuffy house. You're stimulating different environments. You're also, something that people don't think about a lot as well, is you're changing what distance your eyes are focusing on, and that's going to have a massive input to your brain and everything else. So, for example, sitting on Zoom all day, looking at the screen isn't going to be the best thing for you. But that's why I keep gazing up like this, because I'm just trying to change those boundaries so that it's a different stimulus to my brain. It's going to fatigue the muscles in your eyes as well. So I know that's probably, I'll leave some of the other points for everyone else to talk about, but that's just a bit of a weird, different one that you might not think about.
Yeah, no, I would never have thought about that. No. Marcus, go on. Did you want to come in on that one?
No. Well, I was just saying that I didn't know that. So
It's interesting, isn't it? Because as I said before, I've got horses, and so they're in the field. They're across the road from my house. I can stay on my land and I can go out and see them. And my mum always used to say to me, I'd be like putting on my 50 layers of clothing in the winter and my waterproof stuff to go out and do them in the absolute pouring rain. My mum was always like, "Why don't you get rid of those horses? This is ridiculous." But it doesn't matter how cold it is, how wet or windy or whatever, or when it's like this, it's even better. But when I've had my hour outside, seeing to my horses, feeding them, knocking them out, whatever, I've had an hour to myself. I've had some time in the fresh air. I've done a little bit of exercise. I always feel better, even if I come in absolutely wet through to the skin, or feeling like I'm never going to defrost in my life. I feel better for doing it. And so, there's a reason, I suppose, that the government have said get out and have an hour of exercise if you can, because it's pretty fundamental, isn't it?
Yeah. I think...
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say as well, like, yesterday when, for example, I was really stressed out and I was stressing at my girlfriend and stuff like that, getting out, changing that scenery, having that hour to yourself, it is a good way to decompress. But it's just changing the scenery. Like at the minute we're stuck in four walls, or well, just this week they've changed it and stuff. We were stuck in four walls, and like it's just not good for us to be like that with our mental health and.
You're right, because that's another pressure, isn't it? Is that we're stuck in with our families. Who, obviously we love our families. Of course, we love our families. But after we're in like week 8 now of lockdown, we're in week 9 because we all started working a week earlier. It's getting grating. I love them all dearly, but they're just constantly there. So it is. Sometimes you just need a bit of time to yourself, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Is that I think people think like, oh, I shouldn't. As Annie said before, you feel like you're being selfish when actually you're not, because you're going to be able to deal with everybody better if you're feeling better in yourself. So taking that time away benefits everybody else, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was trying to find a polite and nice way to say exactly what you've just said without sounding mean.
The thing is, they will be feeling exactly the same. So that's, everybody's in this boat at the moment. Everybody's feeling a little bit frustrated about it. So your girlfriend will be feeling the same way about you. You can guarantee it.
I thought it was an angel.
My boyfriend's come back to work now, so I get a few days to myself.
Oh, do you? Right. So is he a key worker then?
I do.
Is he a key worker, or has he been allowed back now with the easing?
No, he's not a key worker. He works as an engineer, really. So he makes like prosthetic hips and knees and stuff like that. But he called back a few weeks ago.
Yeah. So that does make a massive difference as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Because he would spend quite a lot of his time on his game, and then I just found myself getting really annoyed at that. And then I'd have to go out on my own, and then it was just a whole host of annoyance. But it's nice to have those days where he's at work and then he comes home and it's attention.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, no, everybody needs that little bit of break. You mentioned there gaming, and Marcus has mentioned gaming, and I know we are, we're here to talk about being active and having a kind of healthy lifestyle like that, but gaming is a big part of people's lives, and how a lot of people are spending the time at the moment. And my little boy's 10, and he would spend every hour on his bloody Xbox or PlayStation or whatever it is if he was allowed to. But there is a benefit to doing it as well, isn't it? I always think, like, stop playing every game and get outside. But actually, I suppose it can be beneficial from a mental health point of view and keeping your brain active. Can it? Am I wrong?
I think so.
I just enjoy it. Yeah. So
I think that's a good point, isn't it? Because again, it comes back to be nice to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Don't give yourself unrealistic expectations. If that's something that you enjoy, do a bit of that.
Yeah.
It's
that alone time as well, isn't it?
It's what
it's that alone time, like you were saying before. If you might be playing with your friends, but it's still a different type of time for your brain. Like, you're not in the same tribe for a little bit. But also, when you're in your own little world like that, it's nice escape as well. You're not listening to the news and you're not listening to everything else that's going on. You're not having people mind you sometimes. Sometimes I'm doing the exact same thing at the moment. I'm, playing the new Call of Duty. And, I should be out walking and stuff more, I'm sure.
Well, a little bit of what you fancy does you good, I suppose, doesn't it? You see, I've never been into computer games, so I don't really get it. But I know when Leon's playing on his, like, it sounds like World War III is going on up there, because he plays with his mates, but obviously they play through the headphones. But there just seems to be a hell of a lot of screaming. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, I think it's a good way to still keep them socialising and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Because you can still communicate with each other, you can still give each other all the banter that you normally would and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or you're obviously still adhering to the social distancing, because you could be on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Playing them, or you could be next door.
Yeah.
Have you ever played a Wii, like a Wii Fit? Are they any good?
Yeah.
Yeah. They definitely get you active and sweaty.
Yeah. So, I mean, if people are struggling to kind of know what sort of, if there's an exercise routine or anything like that, I suppose a Wii Fit might be a good introduction into doing some sort of exercise.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think
go on, Annie. Say that again, Annie.
I imagine you'd be able to get some stuff on the VR if anybody had anything like that.
Yeah, actually, Leon got a VR headset for Christmas. So, I suppose you would be able to do stuff like that, wouldn't you? That's worth looking into for people. Because I think one of the biggest things that I would do is not knowing where to start. And I think that's the thing, because I suppose if you've been going out to the gym and you're quite active anyway, you will know what sort of exercise you need to be doing. You'll know your own routine. But for people who didn't normally do that before and are just trying to stay a little bit active during lockdown, that would be where I would think that I don't know where to start, especially if I've got a bad back. I don't want to do anything that's going to damage that. So what should I be doing? Have any of you got any kind of good places where you think people can go to find that sort of information? How do you know anywhere? I mean, obviously get in touch with you lot.
Well, for me personally, like I've got a small starter pack that people can do, and it's got a bit of information about losing weight, nutrition, exercises, and just some good guidelines to get started for them. But if you want to go for like something on the Xbox, I know there's the Connect, and it uses the movements that you do, and it registers it all, and you can play games and stuff on it while staying active.
Right. Okay. I've never heard of that, but that's a good one. So when you say kind of basic tips for getting started, what would they be, Marcus? Would it be sort of, start small and start manageable, or do you think people should just go into it and get going?
100% like to just start small, because I think one thing that's become kind of, I don't know what the word is, but basically one thing that a lot of people get wrong is that they need to be fit to go to the gym, and it's the other way around. Like you go to the gym to get fit, just you might not even need to start going to the gym if you're just a couch potato and you're eating rubbish all the time and stuff like that. Just one thing just to get you started might be just to drink a bit more water, do 6,000 steps a day, do a bit of stretching and just something simple like that. And then once you've done that, okay, drink 2 liters of water a day, do 10,000 steps a day, then go to the gym 3 times a week. But even that might be too much for some people. So start small, put the foundations in place first, because you don't start by building a house, by building the roof first. So
I think that's a really good point, isn't it? Actually, that and people always think this, and I would as well. Gyms are quite intimidating places to go, and they're full of people who are already fit. And I always think like, oh my god, if I use the machine wrong, somebody's going to look at me and think I'm a moron, so I just won't do it. Whereas actually, this might be a really great opportunity to lead somebody into. So because we can't go to the gym, obviously, but you could start having some smaller sessions now with a personal trainer, start to kind of build up a small level of fitness and learn how to use things like the dumbbells or the kettlebells or whatever, and kind of build up from there. Actually, it could be a perfect opportunity for people, couldn't it? Annie, what do you think? You said you've been doing a few sessions with people, have you? Have your clients kind of had that attitude?
Yeah, there are quite a lot of them. Like I mentioned it earlier, at the minute it's more about like maintaining, so that when you do go back to the gym, you're not necessarily having to start from scratch all over again. I think it's important as well to just listen to your body and not try and force yourself to do something if you're not enjoying it at all and you're hating every second of it. Listen to your body and realise that you don't have to do it if you don't like it. But definitely try and maintain some level of fitness, so that when you do go back to gym, or you do want to start at the gym, then it's not so daunting and it's not as like starting from scratch all over again.
I think that is a really good point as well. Is that don't do so. I've seen loads of people on Facebook recently who they've been like doing the Joe Wicks workout. Oh my god, it's killing me! I absolutely hate it. Like, well, if you hate it, stop doing it, because there are so many different types of exercise. Go on, sorry, Annie. Go on.
Yeah, I was just following on what you're saying. Just switch it out for something else. Like there is no right way to be fit. Fitness is it's not a size, it's not a look. It's tailored to individuals. So you have to just find what works for you and what you find enjoyment in. Getting your body moving in any way is going to have health benefits all around. So just.
I do think that's an important way. Where you said, Marcus, about doing your steps, and I know we've mentioned it already, but just getting out and going for a walk is exercise. People think of exercise. I do this. I think I haven't been to the gym in years, so I haven't done any exercise. Well, actually, like say I muck out horses. We've got dogs. I'm constantly cleaning, tidying up after everybody. All of that is exercise. It's just getting moving, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. We've talked quite a lot there about exercise itself. I don't want to neglect the kind of healthy eating side of things, which we've talked about. Because obviously, some people getting moving and starting to do exercise is really important. Some people maybe can't do that. They're not as inclined to do that. but you can still be healthy. So what do any of you think? Again, I'll come round again. So in terms of kind of a healthy diet, that sort of thing, what are your thoughts on that, Annie? I'll come to you first.
I've always said I am a full-time foodie, part-time fitness freak. So my love for fitness stems from ultimately my love for food. I don't like to neglect myself of anything that's joyful. I do the 80-20 rule. So I'll eat well and nourish my body and fuel it to be what it needs to be. And then I'll indulge in that 20% and eat what I want to eat. I'll eat that chocolate cake, and I'm going to have that donut, I'm going to have that bag of crisps. And I just think it's about, again, it's not being so harsh on yourself. It's not, you don't have to do this all or nothing approach where you eat kale and chicken and rice every meal 7 days a week. It's finding the balance between fueling yourself to succeed and obviously just having a normal life. Because if you go one or the other, you're just going to fall off the bandwagon. You're never going to stick to anything. But tip would probably just start the day as you need to go on, have a healthy breakfast, and then you can slowly digress into more indulgent things as the day goes on.
I do think that's, I've seen again, I've seen a lot of people on Facebook, but they've been doing these detoxes and juicing diet, and while, you know, I think absolutely they've got a place, but like you said, if you set off on a routine of, right, I'm only going to eat 500 calories a day and they're all going to come from kale, you'll do it for a few days, and then you'll be feeling shit, and you'll be spending your life on the low. So you're not going to keep with it, are you? You've got to have that balance, and I think as well, it's a little bit of that reward mentality. You know, going through a really shit time at the moment, and if you want to have a little bit of a treat, you know, we can't go out clubbing, we can't go to the cinema, we can't go for a lovely meal, but maybe we could have a takeaway instead, and it makes us feel a bit better, doesn't it? Joseph, what about you? How are you kind of eating at the moment?
Just whatever's put in front of me at the moment. I've got no choice in the matter whatsoever. My mum's really into her healthy eating. What I find and what I notice from our little case study in our family is we'll eat like a salad, or we'll eat like, you know, some stir fry or something that is deemed healthy, but then they'll all snack straight after, or that will only fill me up for half the day, and then I'll want a packet of crisps and I'll have this, things like that. So I think finding what fills you up, which is quite low calorie, is a good way to keep the weight off as well. So for me, people probably won't like this very much, but meat products actually fill me up and make me feel full for longer. So if I wake up and have like eggs in the morning, that will last me through. If I have porridge or cereal, you know, I'll want a snack before dinner time. But I know people have different things. Sometimes fiber is the thing that fills you up a lot. So I know people who are the opposite, who if they have porridge or, you know, Weetabix or something like that, that will fill them up for the rest of the day. I don't really work like that. I don't know what it is, but you need to find that thing that, you know, isn't the multi-pack of Doritos. It's the thing that fills you up.
Yeah.
And just something like lower calorie and focus on that. That's what I would advise. Something that you don't hate as well, because I wouldn't want to eat kale and lose weight that way. I would never keep weight off that way, because I'll eat 2 multi-packs of Doritos when I come back off of it.
Yes,
exactly. So
I mean, there's 2 points there. One of them is that they think there's a lot of genetics involved in this. And that, you know, I'm straight in wandering into territory that I don't know anything about. Well, actually, this whole live session has been about territory that I don't know anything about. But apparently, you know, that your genetics and your DNA and everything, they think go into form a big part of what types of food your body processes and breaks it down and all that sort of stuff. So, as you say, it's about trying different things. What works for your body? People find a diet and they'll follow it really prescriptively, and it might be a perfectly good diet, but it might not be the right diet for your body. And then people say, "Oh, I didn't get any results off that. That was rubbish," or "I was starving all the time," or whatever. And somebody else will say, "Oh, I lost loads of weight with that one." So it's finding the one that's right for you, isn't it? And like you say, are you more of a carbs person? Are you more, you know, like, I don't like sweet things very much, but I will eat my own body weight in crisps and bread and pasta. I love savoury carbs. So, you know, it's finding the right types of food that fill you up, but that you also like. I think it's really important, isn't it? Marcus, what have you been eating?
Well, to be honest, like I've just been really relaxed with it. Like So I've even got some Pepsi here next to me. Like so, you know, it's a Pepsi Max one, so I think there's only like half a calorie in that glass or something. You know, like I like my Pepsi. We're having a takeaway tonight. We've been watching movies, so we've been having popcorn and stuff like that.
What takeaway are you getting tonight?
Yankee Kitchen is the best one in Burnley. Like, I hope I get a discount for saying this, but yeah, 100%. So yeah, it's just, you know, moderation. Still, like, obviously, I'm not like having takeaways 3 times a day and stuff like that. But I'm still doing the odd workout and stuff. But moderation. What Annie said as well about like doing the 80-20 rule, I think that's massive, because when people go to really prescriptive, really sort of nailed, you know, like restrictive diets, a study done by a guy called, well, I forget his name, but there was a study done, and within a year, people fall off the bandwagon like 85% of the time or something.
Yeah.
In a year. Within 3 years, 97% of people have either come off the bandwagon or they've stopped altogether and they've put more weight on than when they first started that diet within 3 years. So moderation, what's sustainable, what's going to work for you, stuff like that. Massive.
I think that's really important because it's like, you know, I mean, there's loads of self-help books and guides and all sorts out there on the internet that you can find, but creating new habits is a hard thing that takes a long time. You have to do something for between 30 to 90 days before it starts to become a habit that is ingrained in your daily lifestyle. And you're only going to do something for that length of time if you enjoy it. And if you look on, especially like a diet or even an exercise regime or something, if you look upon it as a part-time thing, like, right, I'm going to do this for 3 weeks and then I'm going to be fit and then I can go back to normal life, then as soon as you've done it, you know, all that good work's going to be undone, isn't it? So you've got to do something that you can incorporate into your everyday life and that you are going to keep up, because once you start, you've got to keep it going, haven't you?
Consistency is king.
Yeah, 100%. Just one more thing as well, like overeating on healthy food. So, for example, nuts and avocados, like seem to be healthy. They've got a lot of vitamins, nutrients in them, and stuff like that. But they've also got a lot of fats in them. And with that comes a lot of calories. If you were to overeat on them, say you have 2 avocados a day on top of what you normally eat, chances are you're going to start to gain weight, and then that's not going to be great either.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's, I mean, I love beans. I am a vegetarian, so it's a good thing I do. But beans, chickpeas, and lentils, I would eat those at every single meal if I was given the opportunity. My family like to eat other things, so sometimes I have to cook other things. But again, it's the same thing. They will bind you. You think they would, you know, they think they keep your gut going healthily. But if I was anemic, I was ill a couple of years ago, and I was really ill, and they said I'd got anemic, and it was the first time in my life I was anemic, and I was really ashamed of this. I was quite proud of the fact that I've been a vegetarian since I was 13 and never been anemic. But anyway, instead I was. So I spent 2 weeks just eating chickpeas and spinach, essentially. And the first week I went to the loo absolutely fine, and then after that I went to the bloody loo for about 10 days. And I was like, I think I need to go on the beans and the spinach. But yeah, anyway, I'm oversharing now, aren't I?
I think it's one of them where there's not really a hard and fast rule. I think if you have your own diet, you probably want to have someone look at it, you know, go to a professional and see what they say, because these are general things that we're saying now. But if someone goes, oh, well, actually, you know, kettle crisps are the thing that fill me up, I should just concentrate on eating them. That's not what to do. That's not what we're saying. You know, let's have a look at the diet and sort things out from there. So that's exactly right. And a lot of people cut. Just one quick point.
Yeah.
People cut a lot of food out of the diet. And what happens then? We spoke a little bit in the comments last time about fidgeting and things like that. So there's this big thing at the moment called NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which means you burn fat when you're doing all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, constantly.
if you're starving yourself, certain hormones will become active, and then they'll stop this from happening. So like if you've had a big meal, you might be twitching your foot a lot, and you burn off certain calories because your body wants to stay at the same weight. So if you're starving yourself, sometimes this is why people starve themselves and they don't lose weight, is because then they stop moving as much and they stop going for walks. So they'll be, oh, I'm knackered, will you just get past me that? Will you do that? They start moving less,
Right.
and therefore they're having more calories than they're burning off, and they start putting weight back on, or even get fatter from starving themselves.
Yeah.
So rather than suffer like that, just keeping a moderate approach over long term is a much better way to sustaining it, keeping it off.
I think that's a really good point generally to make, though, isn't it? It's that, and again, we have briefly mentioned it. You don't have to consider exercise. I've done 3 solid hours of weightlifting, ergo I've done exercise. If you are hoovering the house, every day, if you hoover the house, or you're walking around, you're doing the dusting, you're doing the cleaning, you're picking up after bloody children that can't bloody pick anything up again. All of that stuff. It is burning calories. It's lying on the sofa and not just watching Netflix on repeat. That's unhealthy. But even if you think like, right, well, I've done 2 hours of just moving around, cooking, exercising, rearranging the cupboards, whatever it is, I've taken the dog for a walk. All of that is exercise, and that keeps you moving and that keeps you healthy, doesn't it?
Yeah. Can I just add one more thing as well?
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about diet then, but the same goes for exercise. So I know there's these people who go to the gym and they absolutely kill themselves day one, and then for the rest of the week they'll be sore and not do anything. That's going to do the same effect. You've burnt a lot of calories in 1 hour long session, but then the thousands of calories that you're not burning, from hoovering and picking things up because you can't walk upstairs properly because you did heavy squats. That's probably going to keep the weight on more. So when I'm working with people who want to lose weight, I recommend the sort of go for a long walk that isn't intense, that doesn't get you out of breath, but it's movement, it's burning calories.
Mm-hmm.
But there's obviously still a massive place for the actual fitness side of it. But biting off more than you can chew straight away gets you in a bad relationship with exercise and food, and it doesn't get you anywhere in the long run.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's that small, keep it small and keep it manageable, and then you are going to carry it on, and it's going to be therefore more beneficial than doing short bursts of, a fabby thing, isn't it? And I am going. There's been a couple of questions in, so we're up to kind of nearly 50 minutes. So I am going to move us on, but just quickly, we've mentioned about the sort of Fitbit. I just want to ask and I've thrown this question at you because I didn't ask you beforehand, so I don't mind if you haven't got an answer. But there's a lot of things at the moment about apps that people can use, and my husband Dali, he's got a Fitbit, so he checks his steps, and loads of people have got those. Is there anything that you recommend in terms of kind of an app on the phone that can count calories, or just getting a Fitbit? Any Marcus, is there anything you use or that you could recommend to people?
So the thing that I use the most is, have you heard of a guy called the Iceman? It's called Wim Hof.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you YouTube him, but I'm not too sure if they're just if good. But follow his guided breathing videos for de-stressing, relaxation. It's a form of meditation. If anyone's watching this and they've got anxiety, I definitely recommend it.
Brilliant, thank you. Annie, is there anything you use?
I would obviously say probably MyFitnessPal is a good place to start with, like the nutrition side of things and making sure you're not overindulging and still sticking to that 80-20 rule. So MyFitnessPal is a really good way to just track what you're eating and make sure you're putting on the right calories. And so yeah, I definitely recommend that. It's what all my clients use anyway. That's where I point them in that direction.
Is that a free app that's on your phone?
Yeah, free app. You can like barcode scan all your food, so like scan your rice and everything like that, and it just tracks your calories really easily, and it just helps you then like keep on track. And I've suggested to all of my clients, even if you don't do it in the long run, I'd definitely suggest doing it for maybe like a month or so, because it gives you a deeper understanding of like food and the content that is in food and how many calories there are in the little things that you don't notice. So definitely suggest that.
It is really interesting. I did that for a while. The reason I stopped doing it because I cook a lot of my own food, and it was really fiddly trying to work out what my recipes were. But what I did find really handy was that scanning barcode thing. Like you say, you don't there are some foods, a lot of foods, fruit essentially, that you think are really healthy, and you think that this is going to be really good for me, but actually when you look at it, it's got like avocados have a really high fat content, nuts obviously have a really high fat content, and working out what the kind of calorie value of things is quite an eye-opening thing. So I would recommend, give it a try, even if you just do it for a couple of days, just to see what's in the food. And I was also talking to a friend actually who did it for her kids. She was scanning the food that her children were eating to get the sugar content, and that was kind of jaw-dropping actually, the amount of sugar that was in kids' food that's aimed at there. But yeah, that's really, thank you, Annie. That's a good tip. Joseph, are there any apps, anything you use?
I've been trying a lot of different things recently. I did write a blog post on what you can use to track weight loss and what's the best thing for you, because I got the biometric reading weighing scales. They're really cheap now. They're only like 30 quid. But you stand on them. It takes your weight. You put your height in. It's all on an app, and it sends an electric current through your body, which detects your body fat levels as well. Now, further research, this is like one of the most inaccurate things there is. So I wouldn't wholeheartedly recommend that. But in general terms, using the mirror, using weighing scales, I talk a little bit about the blog about, for most people, just a pair of jeans that don't fit, and see if your diet and your exercise is working off how your jeans fit you better, can be an easy way of tracking it. They're not, well, hopefully, they're not going to change shape anytime soon. But yeah, same with everything has benefits and drawbacks. I'd give that blog a read if you're interested. It's got quite a few more in-depth details there. But I got my own Fitbit that I use. Not on at the moment because kettlebells have a tendency to smash things if you're flipping them around quite a lot. So I took it off for now. There was a thing in the gym that was a body weight tracker as well, but I'm a little bit skeptical on this electrical pulse after reading that they only go through certain parts of your body. So the one that you stand on in the weighing scale, electricity is always going to go shortest path. So it's just going to go up one leg and down the other. So I might not have much fat there. I carry all my fat on my belly because I'm really lucky. So it's probably not going to touch that point. If you've got one of these things that you hold with your hands, it's going to miss out a big loop as well, if that makes sense. So keep it simple, really. I think that getting a grasp of what calories are and what the different foods are, getting a grasp of how much activity you're doing using a Fitbit or just a step tracker on your phone. Those are two really simple things to start you off, and I would,
And they don't cost a lot of money either, do they? You can get those for not a lot. So they're a good indicator. But I think as well what you said there about the kind of Fitbit trackers as well. They check your pulse, they check some basic readings, and it just gives you that baseline that you can start working from. And then it's like when you get one of those energy readers and you suddenly realise how much electricity you're doing. So you just make a small change and you've saved a fortune. You get a Fitbit. How many steps you've done? You think, all right, well, I'll just take the dog for a walk around the block. You've done, another couple of hundred more steps than you would have done, and it's just about building up slowly from there, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. We have had a question through. So Hannah was asking, and obviously this is relevant to me as well. But Hannah was asking if there are any sort of recommendations for somebody who's got existing back or neck pain, but they want to start moving. So especially for people who are currently, as I say, hunched over laptops or something, not properly. Joseph, where do you think people should start with that?
It's a very general question. So I would ask them, when we talk about fitness is the ability to do a task. So what are your goals? You need to figure out what your goals are first of all. If it's, I want to walk to the shops and back without any pain, that's a great place to start from. And there'll be ways of doing that. But that's the first thing that I would ask someone is what are the goals? What do you want to get out of this? Because, you know, if they're saying I've got really bad neck pain and back pain, but I want to lift 200 kilos above my head tomorrow, there's not a good way of doing that.
Yeah.
Always managing recovery is the main thing, and it's a common theme throughout a lot of my blogs. So everything in life is a stress. You know, sat here right now, there's stress on my neck, there's gravity pushing me down, there's stress of me breathing. Yeah, we're always combating these different things, but our ability to recover from these stresses and grow stronger is what helps us enhance our fitness and get us out of pain. So I would look at what is causing the pain first of all. Is it too much of something or too little? Because those are two big things as well. So you may be sat in one position for a long time and that's what's causing you pain. Or you might have really, really weak neck muscles that as soon as you get into a position, they start firing up and they can't handle the load and the stress and they get painful. So what I would do there is implement, you know, sort of like a rehabilitative program of just gentle exercises to start building that resilience up. Because people say good and bad postures. I don't really think there is good and bad postures. It's all individual. You know, I might be able to sit like how I am now all day long and not have pain. I'm very resilient in this position, but someone else might not be able to sit in this position with this curve in the back. I might be going way into it here.
No, I mean you're right. So essentially, it's twofold, isn't it? First of all, it's figure out what is the source of that pain. You know, you say neck or back pain. So what's causing it? And then the second step to that is, well, start small and either eradicate the thing that's causing it, or start to make your body more resilient to fix it. Really, isn't it?
Yeah, and these two will have great posts, I'm sure, on, you know, like what simple things you can do to start putting extra stress on your body so that it adapts and then it gets out of pain in the long run. You know, if you're doing, you know, like if you've ever seen wrestlers do the neck bridges where they sort of get in this like sort of a yoga position, but it's all on the neck. A lot of people would look at that and go, oh, that's so bad for your neck. They didn't just do that from day one. They didn't get in that position and just go, right, I'm on my neck now. They've built up to that so that it's not painful. So, you know, same with exercises. There's not really good and bad exercises all the time, but there's a risk-reward ratio that can be managed as well. But finding a professional that can help you with that would be my advice.
What you said at the very beginning of that then was really good. It's set a manageable goal, because again, it's like you wouldn't set out and be like, right, today I'm going to climb Everest. You'd be like, right, today I'm going to walk to the end of the road, and then, you know, next week I will walk to the post office, and then the week after I will walk to the post office, and I will walk back again. So, you know, be realistic and set yourself goals that are manageable rather than setting out. We're running out of time, guys, so I would like to very quickly go round. Just for, I want to get your main top tip people take away with them today, but also how can people get hold of you if they want to have a further conversation, or if they want to check out more information? How can they get hold of you? So Annie, what about you? Top tip, and how can people find out more?
My top tip would probably be try and get yourself into some kind of routine. Not a strict routine, but just try and set yourself out that you're not going to allow yourself to lie in until like 12 o'clock. Just try and stick to a normal routine that you would do in normal life, and then you'll just find that normal life just slowly slots back into place, and you can start making time for those things that are important. And they're important to you, because what's important to one person might not be to the other. So just don't be so harsh on yourself. Get a routine going and just enjoy it. It'll soon be a thing of the past, and you'll wish we were back stuck at home.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. So how can people get hold of you, Annie? Where can they find you?
So you can find me on Facebook. I've got a Facebook page, it's AJ Personal Training, or I'm on Instagram, Annie Johnson Fitness. Or if you need to drop me a message or anything, then I'll put my number in the comments below. And we're done.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Annie. Marcus, what about you? Top tip, and how can we find out more?
So my top tip would be start small, keep going with what's sustainable, and just keep building on that. How you can find me is Instagram. It's at MarcusMorris92, or you can email me info@MarcusMorrisPT.
Yeah, brilliant. And I presume both of you are happy to have, you know, like an introductory session with people to work out kind of where they're at and provide a bit of advice. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you. Joseph, what about you? What's your top tip?
My top tip will be, don't feel guilty for what you can't do. Just focus on what you can for now.
Brilliant.
I've got a Facebook, I've got a website. I'll just link them all below. Because off the top of my head, I don't know what they're called.
No, but you've been doing quite a lot of blogging recently, haven't you? There's some, I mean, I know, as I've said before, you are my chiropractor, but also, you know, I've got back issues, and you've been blogging a lot about back pain and how to reduce it and all that sort of stuff. So I found those really useful. So anybody wants to check those out, say, Joseph will put the link in the comments. So we have reached 2 o'clock. It only remains for me to say thank you so much to all 3 of you. I think that's been a really useful session. We've lost Marcus already. He's gone. That's been a really, really useful session. I'm quite surprised, actually, that we all managed to stay on for the full hour without any Wi-Fi problems. We've had loads in the past. But thank you so much. We've had some really amazing tips there for people. I hope anybody's found it useful. If you have any questions at all, please put them in the comments. We'll all be more than happy to answer them. We will put our contact details in there as well. And that's it. Thank you, guys. Have a brilliant weekend. I'm off to order a takeaway.
Yeah.